Have you ever seen a boss, manager, or anyone else turn to you and say you need to get out of your comfort zone, right? Today I want to talk about this trend that's creating a generation that's efficient but sick. Hey engineering fans, today we'll discuss a phrase that's recently become a mantra for coaches, mentors, and managers. Get out of your comfort zone. It's repeated in motivational talks, self-help books, and even in everyday conversations, always with the promise of growth and success. But is this relentless pursuit of discomfort really leading us to the development we long for? Or does it hide a dark side, turning efficiency into exhaustion, especially for professionals in demanding fields like engineering? But what exactly does comfort zone mean, and why do we associate it with something negative? Well, the idea of a comfort zone isn't just about being lazy or complacent. On the contrary, it represents a psychological and behavioral state where we feel safe, comfortable, and in control. It's where our routines are predictable, where we have a good handle on tasks, and where anxiety is minimized. Historically, it's where the brain feels safe and survival was the priority. Leaving it means facing the new, the uncertain, the challenging, and of course, challenges are essential for learning and growth. After all, how can we learn something new or develop a new skill without exposing ourselves to situations that demand more from us? The problem begins when this pursuit of leaving the comfort zone becomes a constant imposition, an endless race where rest and stability are seen as failures. But how does this philosophy of constant discomfort manifest itself in the job market, in engineering? In the field of engineering, this pressure is felt particularly intensely. A few decades ago, an engineering degree guaranteed a good career, but that's no longer the case today. The job market doesn't just require a graduate engineer, but a professional who is a kind of multidisciplinary superhero. Job openings often require not just a degree, but also specialization courses, postgraduate studies, master's degrees, MBAs in management, and software certifications. Speak 10 languages and several others. It's not enough to be an excellent engineer. You also need to understand project management, be fluent in another language, master complex modeling tools, and still have leadership and communication skills. This expectation that professionals should be in constant development is a direct consequence of glorifying stepping out of your comfort zone. But is this relentless pursuit of more qualifications and experiences really making us more capable and happier? Or just overwhelmed? The truth is that this relentless pressure for more, to always be better, to always be learning something new, creates a paradoxical efficiency. We're pushed to be more productive and skilled, but the cost of that can be extremely high for our health. The pressure to never settle, to always seek the next challenge, often leads to a cycle of burnout. The newly graduated engineer already enters the job market feeling behind if he doesn't have a postgraduate plan or a certification in progress. Experienced professionals feel the need to constantly reinvent themselves so they don't fall behind, even if that means sacrificing time with family, leisure, or sleep. But what are the real impacts of this culture of perpetual discomfort on professionals' lives? The impacts of this culture are profound and alarming. In terms of mental health, stress and anxiety become daily companions. Burnout syndrome or professional exhaustion is no longer a distant term, but an increasingly common reality, especially among high-demand professionals. The constant feeling of inadequacy, of never being good enough even when achieving great things, undermines self-confidence and personal satisfaction physically. Sleep deprivation, unbalanced eating, and lack of physical activity, often ignored in the name of one more course or one more project, open the door to chronic health problems. Personal life also suffers, with family and social relationships being neglected and hobbies that were once sources of pleasure becoming unattainable luxuries. Recent data confirm this worrying trend. The number of workers on leave by the National Social Security Institute due to burnout syndrome has quadrupled between 2020 and 2023. In 2023, there were 421 benefits granted for this reason, representing an increase of more than 1,000 compared to 2014. This demonstrates the exponential growth of professional burnout cases in Brazil. A survey conducted by the International Stress Management Association in Brazil reveals that a significant portion of the economically active Brazilian population suffers from after effects caused by stress. About 72% of professionals in the job market are affected by some level of stress, and 32% of these cases develop into burnout syndrome. These numbers are a warning about the seriousness of the situation. Burnout manifests itself through symptoms such as emotional exhaustion and emotional detachment. Cynicism, which is a distant and detached attitude toward work and colleagues, and low professional achievement. In other words, the feeling that work has no purpose or that you are not competent. These symptoms not only lead to absences from work, but also directly impact professionals' productivity, creativity, and ability to innovate, in addition to declining mental and physical health. In high-pressure environments like engineering, where demands for results are constant and projects often involve great responsibilities, the risk of burnout is even higher. It is essential that companies and professionals themselves recognize the importance of balance. Work environments that promote social support, invest in stress coping strategies, and value employee well-being are essential to prevent burnout and to ensure long-term career sustainability. But it's possible that too much discomfort actually prevents us from reaching a deeper level of mastery and innovation. This pursuit of breadth, of being good at everything, can have an unexpected side effect: the dilution of depth. Think about it with me. If we're constantly jumping from one new skill to another, without time to consolidate knowledge and refine specific expertise, we might end up becoming generalists, shallow. True innovation and mastery often emerge from a period of immersion and consolidation, in a strategic comfort zone, where you have the security to experiment, reflect, and delve deeper into a particular subject. An engineering material, for example, under constant stress and without relief, eventually gives way. In the same way, a professional under continuous stress is able to maintain their integrity and performance. We need safety factors in our lives just as we apply them in our projects. So, how can we find a healthy balance between growth and well-being without falling into the trap of efficiency? Sick. The key is not to avoid discomfort, but to manage it. It's not about never leaving your comfort zone, but about choosing when and how to do it intentionally and sustainably. It's essential to recognize that rest, routine, and stability are not signs of weakness or stagnation, but vital components for mental and physical health. And paradoxically, for long-term growth itself, the brain needs time to process information, to consolidate learning, and to recharge creative energy. Periodically, we need to return to our comfort zone to reassess, plan, and strengthen our foundation before embarking on a new challenge. Instead of a frantic race for more degrees and qualifications, which often do not translate into satisfaction or sustainability. The new vision of success might need to include the ability to say no to certain demands, to protect personal time, and to value quality. Over quantity, true strength may lie in knowing when to stop, when to breathe, and when to consolidate what has already been achieved before seeking the next step. Being efficient doesn't have to mean being sick, and work shouldn't aim for your slow death. If you or someone you know is experiencing emotional exhaustion and needs help, seek out the Center for Valuing Life at the Center for Valuing Life website, org/bar, or by calling 188 and know that you are important. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, like, and turn on notifications. And if you find our content interesting, consider becoming a member to help us keep producing content here on the platform and to be mentioned in our videos. To learn more about our recommended courses, scan the QR code or check the video description link. To have access to various opportunities to develop several skills that will make a difference in your career. But remember to keep a balance. And have you ever felt pressured to always step out of your comfort zone? Do you believe this culture is impacting professionals' health? Leave it here in the comments because I want to know. On the side, there are 2 interesting video options that you need to watch to expand your knowledge and explore your curiosity. And if you want to support us, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. And have you considered becoming a channel member? That's it, engineering lovers, a big hug, and I'll see you in the next video.